On this Monday morning, I begin with what the Observer is calling this morning horrific tragedy. Party-bound 5 killed in early morning bus crash, several others injured. This is the front page of the Observer this morning. Yeah? Horrific crash. A tragedy. 5 taxi operators apparently on their way to a party in Hanover yesterday morning, 2:30. Yeah? And what the police are calling careless and reckless driving and speeding and overtaking left 5 of them dead. And all 5 who were killed in that crash on the Salt Marsh Road in Trelawney were taxi operators. This was disclosed to our news center by the President of Transport Operators Development Sustainable Services, TODS, Edgerton Newman.
The public transport sector has been plunged into darkness this morning. Sadness, grief, as well as 5 of our prominent taxi operators, 4 male, 1 female, in a tragic accident in Trelawney this morning. They were en route from Spanish Town to Hanover for a function, and they made their demise in Trelawney. It is a sad moment. These guys were outstanding, outspoken members of the transport sector based in Spanish Town. They were also part of what we call People's Choice Transportation Group, a very active transport group there in Spanish Town and Kingston.
Mr. Newman told us that the vehicle reportedly flipped several times before slamming into a concrete utility pole, and he described the scene for us.
At that time of the morning, the road, that piece of road between Runaway Bay and Trelawney, into St. James, is a simple piece of road, and the Jew was on the road at that hour of the morning. They don't know the road that well, and they were taking the curve, like they are on a straight, and that place is a place prone to accidents, and they take that curve and could not make it, swung to the right, into some trees, and then into a utility pole, a concrete utility pole.
Edgerton Newman, the head of the Constabulary Forces Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, Assistant Commissioner Dr. Gary McKenzie, is calling on motorists to reduce their speed.
Well, as it relates to the cause, that is something that we are investigating. What we are aware of, based on the preliminary information we have gathered, is that it is a high-speed crash. 1. 2, the vehicle was not able to negotiate a left curve, went to the right of the road off it, and crashed into trees, and finally a concrete pole. And so we will examine other circumstances, such as any other condition of the vehicle, as well as the person who was driving it.
Dr. McKenzie also disclosed that the minibus was stopped at a police checkpoint just before the crash.
There are a number of crashes that are occurring on weekends, especially high-speed crashes. And one of the things that has been done is to boost our highway activities. And one of the things, especially as it relates to this crash, the driver of this vehicle, just a few minutes before this crash, would have passed a roadblock or a deliberate road check being done by the police. And these are the kinds of things that we are seeing. And the police have been occupying the highways. Of course, we can't be everywhere. And so one of the tendencies of motorists is once they pass the police checkpoint, then they try to speed up.
So the 5 who died in that horrific crash yesterday morning include 4 males and a female. They have been identified by the police as 22-year-old Akeem Roberts, 42-year-old Dwayne Campbell, Simone Minot, Conrado Owens, and Horace Tuller. According to the police, they are all from Portmore and Spanish Town in St. Catherine. 7 passengers were admitted to the Falmouth Hospital for treatment. 2 have since been released. And, how many times have we been here where we lose so many, in a reckless and careless manner? These 5 Jamaicans should have been with us this morning, but we are virtually immune now, and we sit in vehicles and we have drivers take risks with our lives, and we don't stop them, and we don't demand that they exercise due care and caution on the roads. Yeah? And when I heard Mr. Newman say they were all taxi operators, I couldn't help but thinking about the current political row that has developed where taxi drivers are concerned, and the attack on the rural school bus program that's coming by the opposition. And one of the talking points over this political row has to do with the opposition leader wanting to give the taxi drivers more power. He said to empower them to do more of the transportation of our children. Taxi operators who are notorious for being careless and reckless. Yeah? That was yesterday morning. Well, this morning the Information Minister, Senator Dana Morris Dixon, is condemning what she describes as vulgar, the attack by the opposition on the proposed rural school bus program. The PNP on the weekend launched a coordinated attack on the plan to provide transportation to thousands of children living in rural Jamaica, decrying the use of what it says are old buses. Yes. Here's the opposition leader, Mark Golding.
And I see your MP coming with his old bus plan. These old buses that he wants to say that's going to provide a solution, a transport solution. It's going to be pure problem, I tell you that. Our solution is to empower the taxi drivers and the bus drivers of Jamaica with a subsidy. We will pay them so they can carry the thing to them, and you don't have to find all that money. And we're starting with 20,000 families, and as the economy improves, we're going to grow it till we're providing a proper subsidy across the nation to all who need it. And the transport sector, the private operators, the little man, them who have them Pro Box and them have them AR wagon, and they will be the beneficiaries of the money that is going to run for that program.
Mark Golding. And by the way, it's an AD wagon, not an AR wagon. Yeah? But according to the Information Minister, the PNP's line of attack is shameful.
I am extremely disappointed to hear the baseless attacks on the rural school bus system. These buses are used in the United States and Canada. They are manufactured in accordance with the safety specifications of the U.S. Department of Transportation, and they undergo a rigorous maintenance and inspection regime before and after arriving in Jamaica.
According to Senator Dixon, parents can be assured that the buses will meet the requisite safety standards.
Upon arrival, each bus undergoes a comprehensive inspection and fitness testing consistent with international best practices, and they will be serviced regularly to ensure continued reliability. These buses will be equipped with GPS tracking that allows parents to monitor their child's journey in real time. With onboard cameras, speed limiters, geofencing, and a fully cashless payment system, we're delivering a safe, secure, and convenient transportation experience that brings peace of mind to families and supports consistent school attendance in a cost-effective way.
Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, the Minister of Education. And you know, no matter how safe a vehicle is, no matter how reliable it is, there's always a human element. The human element, meaning the driver, or for that matter, to a lesser extent, the conductor. And we know in Jamaica that our drivers, in particular taxi drivers, are notorious for being reckless and careless. What stands out for me is that that human element is going to be wary of being careless in driving these school buses because the cameras are there. They know they're being watched. Wardens will be on the buses. Could you repeat that clip for me? Where she says, the tracking system, that is going to have a chilling effect on the worst instincts or impulses of the drivers.
Upon arrival, each bus undergoes a comprehensive inspection and fitness testing consistent with international best practices, and they will be serviced regularly to ensure continued reliability. These buses will be equipped with GPS tracking that allows parents to monitor their child's journey in real time, with onboard cameras, speed limiters, geofencing, and a fully cashless payment system. We're delivering a safe, secure, and convenient transportation experience that brings peace of mind to families and supports consistent school attendance in a cost-effective way.
Well, that to me is a critical safeguard against the history of recklessness by our Jamaican drivers. They will know parents are watching, school principals are watching how they drive those buses. Yeah? After the break, you'll hear the PNP's Peter Bunting doubling down, unapologetic about his attack on the proposed system. So this proposed school bus system, rural school bus system, has sparked a heated political quarrel between the government and the opposition, with the government seemingly set to now unveil the program. The opposition has pounced on it, denigrating it. First from its leader, and now one of its leading spokesmen, Peter Bunting. He went on the political attack yesterday, day before yesterday. This is what he told comrades at a meeting over the last couple of days.
By use car for police to embarrass them out the road. And now we see him buy use school bus to go kill off with school picnic them.
Well, that comment from Mr. Bunting has drawn withering criticisms. Yes, social media are rampant with the fury that is being generated at Peter Bunting in saying that the government has decided to buy and use old school buses to kill off or picnic them. I think that has gone down badly with the Jamaicans. And he's feeling the heat because yesterday in Manchester, he doubled down, saying he's unrepentant. He will not withdraw the criticisms and says he would not allow his children to ride on what he describes as the old buses.
Yes, I raise the alarm and warn so we don't want to kill our poor people picking in some more bus. And I make no apology for that. And let us do some back more. These buses that we're bringing in, these are not pre-owned vehicles. These are retired old buses. Many are over 10 to 15-year-old with hundreds of thousands of miles on the clock. So when I sound the alarm, we don't care what the labor rights say or who they say we are.
Peter Bunting last night in Manchester, yes? And it is now a full-fledged political row. But notably, the PNP's official spokesman on transport, Michael Phillips, he sought to distance himself from those comments by articulating that, listen, the party's main problem is the way in which the bus program is being implemented. You see, the daylight he's trying to put, because he knows that those comments by Bunting and Golding have gone down badly. Yeah? So he's saying, I'm the official spokesman on transport. Our main problem is the way in which the program is being implemented.
A couple of weeks ago, I challenged the Minister of Transport, who only know to call people bad mind. I challenged him to a debate on public transport. But at no time comments did the People's National Party ever say that we are against a school bus system to transport our children. Never. Where we have a difference is how we're going to do it. And our plan is a better plan than what they have.
Michael Phillips, yeah? Trying to put some distance and to ease the building pressure, the pressure that's mounting on the PNP over this school bus program. I get two reactions. WhatsApp, good morning, Cliff. This is from a listener. Most of the planes we fly in are over 15 to 20 years old. Yeah, never thought of it that way. But most of the planes we fly in are between 15 and 20 years old. Yeah. So buses, 15 and 20 years old, if you maintain them, you make sure that those who are driving them play by the rules, and in this case, they're under greater scrutiny with tracking cameras, yeah, speed limiters, so they can't go over a certain limit, yeah. Another listener says, but the PNP elites and Tapanaris must be joking. Their kids are chauffeured to school. You can't make this up. Oh dear. Anyway, the other issue now is posters, political posters being vandalized. I heard this morning the MP for Eastern St. Andrew, Favour Williams, denouncing the vandalism of her political posters in the constituency. She's urging her supporters, she says, not to retaliate.
This is not where we should be in Jamaica. I have an opponent in the constituency now. That opponent started putting up her flags and posters, and I indicated to everyone that we do nothing about those posters and those flags. You know, even when people are saying to me, "Oh, Mrs. Williams, MP." I said, "No, we live in a democracy. The opposition is going to put up posters and flags and whatever else they want to put up. We're going to leave them, and they're up for the longest while." And so it was really shocking to me when I started to put up my posters and flags that I saw where they were taken down and some of them were vandalized.
According to Favor Williams, the manner in which the posters are being damaged made her uncomfortable.
It is very shocking to me to discover that not only were posters and flags damaged, but the way in which they were damaged sent shocks through my system. Because when I looked at it, it looked as if somebody took a knife and just went down the middle. I looked at my face and my eyes were pierced out, and I can't tell you the feeling, the chill that went through me.
Favor Williams. And you know, where's the political ombudsman at the Electoral Commission of Jamaica? This matter has been bubbling for some time. Last week I drew attention to a post by Dr. Wickham McNeil, the PNP's candidate out of Northern Trelawney. He was complaining about the same thing. Tova Hamilton, saying that her supporters had destroyed his posters. I see Juliet Cuthbert in West Rural St. Andrew complaining about the same thing, accusing supporters of her opponent, Joan Gordon Webley, of tearing down her posters. And I see where Joan Gordon Webley has been complaining too, that Juliet Cuthbert's opponents have been tearing down her posters. So it's across the divide. And I think this is something we need to hear from the political ombudsman, to call him in and tell him stop it. It only generates tensions, unnecessary tension. We have bigger issues to focus on now. Bigger issues.